Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. This week is part 2 of making the roof look good. Let's get to it. Before we get started, first a big thanks to Simply Carbon Fiber for sponsoring this video. They make watches, sunglasses, wallets, cases, chargers, mounts, accessories, even jewelry. I have an example of one of their great products right here. This is a money clip. It looks so good. For those of you who have not been around carbon fiber before, it is really beautiful and it's kind of got this holographic effect. The stylish money clip allows you to secure your cash and expired gift cards, all neatly and securely. If you don't spend a lot of money on your project car, you can afford to have real cash and credit cards. Exclusive to my viewers, you can use code ESC10. That's 10% off, ESC10. I'll leave a link in the description below. All right, picking up where we left off, we had just made the plug and we're ready to make the mold. I have the mold made. This is, I think by far the largest layup I've done. As I was working through things, one section started to kind of harden up while I was still working on the other section. So for these larger layups, I'll probably need to find a different resin that has kind of a longer working time. But now it's time to take it off. Let's see what it looks like. I fully expect to destroy the plug, but it's time. So the back of the car is relatively unscathed. There's a few spots where I'm sure I kind of dinged or nicked something that's probably not quite ready for paint, so I'll need to touch some areas up. So I couldn't resist. I'm doing the opposite of working. I put the car back together and I'm gonna go for a drive. When I haven't driven for a long time, I get nervous, like I don't have full confidence yet, so hopefully things go well. Got people on standby if I need to get a ride back home. I'm back, super fun, super nervous. I think I haven't really driven too much in a long time, so it kind of always makes me a little nervous. I had my first use of a fire extinguisher today. It's got it all over there. So I was just driving in the neighborhood and had the fire extinguisher in the footwell, and the pin came out and started spraying. It's a rookie mistake by me. I need to get a place to kind of mount this more permanently. I also took off the door panels. So again, I just need to take the wax paper off and then trim this inside up and see how it looks. Here's one of the door panels. I got the wax paper off. So this one where I haven't done anything, this one's still very flexible. And then this one over here is extremely rigid and I can't bend it or move it. So that did exactly what I wanted it to do. So I'll just kind of trim this up, finish it up. I think that'll complete the door panels. So I've got it off the car. The plug came with it. It actually came off the car really easy, but still got some of the plug. So we'll see how easy it is to get the plug off. I will say using the softer materials for making the plug was not a good idea. You'd like things to release very easily from the plug and then kind of have it be more progressive to be hard to remove. For this one, the plug, meaning those softer materials, the fiberboard and the foam released really easy, but then it was really soft and you try to grab it to pull it off and it would still want to stick to the part just because it was so soft. It would want to tear it and pull off. So a little more challenging. I will not be doing that again. We got the mold off. It looks pretty good. Gonna do a few touch-ups before we put on fiberglass to make the part. We put the fiberglass on. We'll see how this turns out. I ended up having some different fiberglass mat than I'm used to. And so I'm hoping that turned out well. If it did, I'll kind of show you a little bit more about that. But other than that, yeah, I'm anxious for this to set up and see how it looks. As promised, I thought I would talk about the fiberglass mat that I was using. This is Seartex. This was actually given to me by a viewer, a local guy. And at first I just thought it was fiberglass mat, but it is like so thick, and so I wasn't sure quite what it was. But it's really cool. On their website, it is a non-woven, but I'll call it directional mat. And so it's got like 4 or 5 sheets kind of all together. So anyway, hopefully that works well. This is set up, so we'll see how it looks after taking it off, or if we can take it off. I seem to have skipped filming one of the sandings, but sanded this once, got just a few touch-up spots. Over here I've been doing this on the door panel, kind of in the inside. We're getting pretty close. Again, this one, just one last time. This one's probably got another time or two. Then we'll do some primer and kind of see some of the pinholes, things like that. But it's getting close. I've also got a solution for the window, I think. So we'll get to that as well. I have the door panel and the rear panel, and they are mostly smooth. We're pretty good to go. What I need to work on now is fastening them to the car. So there was an original part, but it didn't kind of give any instructions on how to use it. So I'm gonna make my own to fasten the door panel to the door. I'm gonna start with the door, and then I'll kind of make the back fit to the door because it'll need some cleanup as well. I'm in the process of making a bracket to mount my new door panel to the door. And I've got some thick steel here and I've been able to bend it. Got a unique bending press. So if this works out, I'll show you how that works.
Here's what I've been using for my hydraulic press. This is my lift. I'm actually just relying on the weight down, so I can lift, hoist it up, and then I just rely on the weight down. And all I've been doing is setting these here. I have a ruler just so I can kind of get the same measurements every time I do this. Set this real quick. And I've got it there, and then all I do is I lower it down, and then I can just kind of watch when it bends up to about the angle I need. And I just go nice and slow. So I say that's probably good. There we have my bend. And here's a template I made, just kind of see if the bend is about how we like it. So again, I'm just trying to match up this one here. So it's pretty close. And if I need to flatten it out, I just use another piece of wood and kind of do the same thing, kind of flatten it out. But that's how I've been bending the thick steel.
All right, there are the fasteners that we fasten in the middle plate. And again, the kind of the back piece here will actually hide that. So it'll be visible like when the doors open, but again, when the doors open, it kind of faces towards the sky. So I think that'll be okay. I may want slightly lower profile heads, but that looks pretty good. So next I'm gonna actually fasten the other piece to the door. What I'm gonna do there is I'm actually gonna put some nuts. I'm gonna fiberglass in some nuts onto the door side. And that way all you need to do to get this on and off is remove the bolts from the door side, and then this should be able to come off. So here's the piece. Again, we got the metal sticking out, so I actually had to notch this part out of the door so this can go down. And again, that metal piece will be fastened to the door with nuts that I'm going to fiberglass onto the door on the inside. I'm using some thicker cardstock to make a template for the side window. What I've done is I've gone ahead and purchased some polycarbonate. Let me tell you about that. I went onto one of my favorite websites, McMaster-Carr. On here I was searching for some polycarbonate for the side windows. I stumbled across a couple things that I thought would be fun to try. One, they have pre-tinted polycarbonate, so I thought that'd be great to have tinted windows. Two, they've got this polycarbonate that is scratch, UV, and chemical resistant. It's made to be outside. My thought is we'll get this template and we'll trace it out and cut it out of the polycarbonate. Here it is. I've got some mixed feelings about some things. So let me show you what's going on. So first, the template to make the polycarbonate window, that worked great. I'm really excited about that. I think all I'll need to do is, like this window seal caulking. I'll probably just need to do that around there. So I won't do that until after we paint. In fact, I really want to take off the protective film to kind of see the tint and how it looks. But again, I think I'm going to wait just because I know as soon as I'll do that, I'll scratch it up or do something. The other things to look at. So this metal plate, I made that. I bolted it here. As you can imagine, it goes up through here. It also has a little bend. So that works really well. This is really rigid, which I like. Again, the problem is the door, it's only got the one hinge, so it's a little bit less than stable. The other thing is, so up here, really rigid. Down here, where I made it more rigid, it's actually not too bad. Up here, it's good because it's kind of locked in there. Like here is flimsy and up here. So meaning this is just a little too much. So I got to figure out how I'm gonna stiffen things up there. Overall, I'm really liking it. I just need to do a couple things. So this has got just a little bit, the gaps on the big side for me. So I'll probably get out either some more filler or short strand fiberglass filler, as well as right here, this gap's a little bit bigger than I want. And then I'll just blend it up here. And then with the new back piece, I'll have to blend this as well. I'm going to put a quick coat of paint on the back as well as the door panel. I just want to make sure when it's kind of mounted to the car that if there's anything that seems off, I just kind of want to identify that now. I think things are pretty good. Again, we've got a lot of fitment to do, so the paint is really just kind of try and get rid of the camouflage, just so again you can see the lines, make sure it looks good, but we'll still need to do more filling and sanding. For the side window here, I did not peel off the protective film. I so want to. It's my personality just to rip it off because I want to see it. But we're going to be handling this a lot more, so I think having the protective film on will be good. To give it kind of the look though, instead of that white, I just did a quick coat of the a black, just to try and make it look like a tint. So I'm going to put it back in the car, see what it looks like. So I still need to cut a hole in the back to see out the rear. And just a lot of the mating lines need to be finished up. So I haven't finished the passenger side, so I need to finish fastening that one. Haven't fastened this back section, need to fasten that, as well as just kind of clean up all the mating lines so it looks nice. Okay, so what we've got left is we've got to finish up those seams, figure out how to mount that rear section. Then I've also got to fasten the other door, the passenger door. So that's all seems somewhat reasonable, but it'll take some time. And next week I'm on vacation. That'll do it for this time. For those of you who missed part 1, check it out right here, or YouTube thinks this one's best for you. See you next time.